1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Pod.
And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen,
Southside Pod.
Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup too. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod.
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
Belly on up to the 9-foot homemade oak bar here in my basement at Southside Pod. Mike, Bill, sitting down here.
Yeah, happy Thursday.
Happy-
Hold on a
Wait.
second. What day? I forget.
Friday?
I've been drunk for like a week, so I have no
Thursday.
idea.
Listen.
It's Friday.
There's a reason why the show came out a day late. It wasn't pure laziness. It wasn't.
Okay.
For once.
No, it wasn't. Okay.
90
Bill, let's
5%.
spin the wheel of Southside Pod
First of all,
excuses.
one
and see
of
what-
our guests was later on in the week, and I wanted to make sure I got out to the Lyric Theater in Blue Island.
Yes.
Where they have restored it. It's gorgeous. I'm telling you, you're going to hear
gorgeous.
it in my voice when I'm doing this interview. I want to go to the Lyric Theater like every weekend and see like an old movie.
You're like transported like into a different time.
Well, they also have it set up for like concerts.
The 20s.
And I've heard the bands they're planning on bringing in 2023. And it's basically a 90s rock alternative fan's dream.
Like 7 Mary 3.
I'm not telling you who's coming in. I didn't hear 7 Mary 3 though. You think those guys are still around?
I don't know.
Gin Blossoms?
They're like 47 Mary 3 now at this point.
But anyway, like you're gonna hear this. It's really interesting. There's some great stuff on this show today. That and the other thing is, I also have Podbean, which is the service that puts the podcast out to all the podcast players.
You're getting technical behind the scenes here.
Yeah,
Right.
this
Okay.
is
They're a
this.
service that I've been using for like 10 years.
Fast forward to this
And
part, listeners.
we've gotten big enough here on the network that I've upgraded us
Whoa.
to the we're like
the VIP suite.
super ultra platinum
Business class?
silver gold. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, exactly. Like we're made out of ivory now,
This
and
is
it's
cool.
it's you're not supposed to
Do
have
I get
that.
a plaque for
The
my wall? or
$200
something?
a night
You might,
Ciboris
yeah,
suite,
I
not
don't
the
know.
$99 a
But
night.
basically, overnight tonight in Shanghai, they are going to
Shanghai surprise.
they're going to be making some changes.
Really?
Technically,
Really, tomorrow there.
That's going to deliver things quicker and better, and there'll be less
Our
chances
show
that
already
the
came
show
out
goes down. Right.
there.
Yeah.
Like right
now.
I wonder how it is. Like, I wonder what I'm going to say next. Is that how it works, right? What was the rabbit's name in Bambi? It was Thumper. What's this called in radio speak? It's called a bumper. It's a bumper.
I'm sitting in one of the coolest spots in Blue Island, and none of you have been there before. And I cannot wait to talk to this guy who I've seen cover high school sports in Chicago for 3 decades. And I've never got to sit down in front of a microphone with him. We're not even going to talk high school sports, which is crazy.
Throw it in, but that's okay.
Pat Disabato is sitting here with me. How are you?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thanks for having me on board, man. This is exciting.
Well, it's exciting for me that I've never sat in a suite over a movie theater. Like, I didn't even think that this could exist. You got a bar and a private bathroom, and you got high tables, and you got couches and chairs, and
We have 2 of them.
yeah, you have 2 suites inside of a brand new movie theater in Blue Island. Tell me the story about this place first, because the Lyric is something that I know is historical in Blue Island, and it's reopening with this fresh, cool look that we're going to get into.
Yep.
But tell me a little bit about it first.
All right, well, the Lyric initially opened back in the day in 1917 down the street at the near the old Opera House in Blue Island. And, you know, it has some history here because it had 2 fires. The most recent one was back in 1960 on Valentine's Day. And it was the theater was full, 900 people in this place, and they had evacuated, and everybody survived the fire miraculously and thankfully. And then as a kid growing up in Blue Island, this is where we came. My mom would take me to the show. I saw Rocky here. I saw Star Wars here. And a buddy of mine's older sister took us to see 10 here with Bo Derek, even though we weren't of age. But just a great theater. It had a balcony, and so I have great memories from this place, and a lot of people have great memories from the Lyric. And then about the end of the 1980s, the Lyric ceased to exist, and then a couple different businesses tried to open up here. And actually, there was a place before its time in the 90s that offered it. Was like these places you see out in the suburbs a lot now, where you could have dinner and watch a movie. But this place was so ahead of its time, I think it was called Dream Street, that it just didn't catch on. So the Lyric, as we all knew it, has been like, there's been nothing here for like 20 years. It's been dormant, and so fortunately the Guerretto family and the Cantello family bought the building a couple years ago, right before the pandemic, and had to sit on it. In the last 8-9 months is really when this whole renovation took place. I mean, this is a 12,000 square foot building, and just about every inch of it has been restored. And people who, like myself, who were at the Lyric years gone by, and they walk in now and they just can't believe it, man, because it's not the Lyric. It's totally different, and it's like a 30s 40s supper club feel. But there is a lot of history at this place, because it did have first run movies, and this is where you came to see a movie. You were at the Lyric concession stand and just had a great time.
And you live just a few blocks away. You're a Blue Island guy. So is that one of the draws why you say, I'm going to get involved in this and I'm going to be a part of this whole restoration and the new Lyric?
That was it. I grew up on the east side of Blue Island, and then I now live on the west side of Blue Island. So I'm in walking distance. I'm 3 blocks away from the Lyric. So, and that's part of the beauty of Blue Island. It's a place where you can walk. You can go to the bank. You can go to the bakeries. You can go to restaurants. You can go to the bars. You could come to the Lyric, and you could walk. You don't even have to get in your car. So that was an attraction. And then, for 31 years, I worked for the Tribune Company, and new owners came in, and I saw the writing on the wall, and they offered a buyout to every employee back in last June, and I accepted it, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. And then Larry Guerretto, the owner here and the owner of Beggar's Pizza, approached me about being a part of this. And I thought about it a little bit, because I did want to transition to something entirely different. The deadlines and just the pressure of 31 years, as you know, as someone who was in media, though you were in broadcast for a while. I mean, there's a lot of pressures to get stories and come up with ideas that will keep me up at night. So I said, you know what, this is going to be work, but it's going to be fun. And this town, it means everything to me, my family, and I know what this means for this town. If this thing hits, like I really believe it's going to hit, bring new people in town, new blood, and I think it's just going to reinvigorate the business community. And I said, you know what, to be a part of this at the ground level, it would be really cool. And I'm honored that the Guerretto and Cantellos, approached me about this. So yeah, I want to see this baby succeed, because I want to see this town thrive.
Located here right along Western Avenue, I'm going to tell you why I think that it is going to hit for you. And you mentioned those suburban places. My wife likes a place that's way out in the suburbs that she drags me to every once in a while, where I get some food. There's a bar there, and I watch a movie. She just likes the idea of getting to have a beer when she's watching the movie. Like something about just that extra thing where it's not just popcorn sitting in a seat, and it's it's more of an experience when you're there. This brand new, it's sleek, but still has like an old-time feel to it. It's very classically done. You have a big stage in front of your theater screen, so I can imagine it. Not only are you going to have movies where you have this big full bar inside the actual theater, everything from regular movie seats to seats with tables to like the really neat ones that you would see like in the old shows, like you go see a mobster movie and they're in those half tables in the booths, right? You have so many different types of seats here that people can sit in while they're doing it. But I can imagine you're going to do concerts and other events inside of this place. This is not just a movie theater.
It is. It's an entertainment venue. We have movies this weekend. First weekend out of the box.
What's the first movie?
Back to the Future.
There we go. That's the answer to a trivia question later on. What was the first movie when the Lyric reopened?
Yep. So it's Back to the Future Friday at 7:30. Doors will open 90 minutes prior to the show. Saturday we've got Kingpin. Again, 7:30, and then Sunday we have a matinee at 1 o'clock, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So those are the first 3 out of the box. You can go on to our website, Lyric Theater online, and you can pick your seat. And that's the beauty of this place. So we've kept it very affordable. Some seats range from $6 to $9 to $11. If you want to get the boots range in price from $50 to $60 to $70. But the price doesn't change whether you have 2 people that want to have the booth or you want to bring in 8 people, because the booths can seat 8. either way, the prices stay the same. The $50 booth could seat 6. And then we have some four-person tabletops. Those are $40. We have cocktail tables around the bar for 2. Those are $20. And if you want to sit at the bar and enjoy a cocktail, that's $11. And we do have a full bar. We have some high-end stuff, whiskeys, bourbons, great stuff on tap.
I saw that too. I looked in. You see, I'm a bar guy. I mean, I don't know how many times you've listened to Southside Pod, but we try to hit a brewery every other week at least. And
beer, man.
You saw me at Blue Island Beer Company. Yeah. We know those guys over there. We've been in a few events over there, and so that's the first thing I spotted. I was like, ooh. Neat bar, lots behind it.
Lots behind it, and we have in the bar as Pat Melvin, who along with Amanda Melvin, they pretty much run this place, and they've picked out all this decor, and that's why the place looks so nice is because of them. He always says the bar is always open. So movies, you can enjoy a cocktail. We'll have a full-blown concession stand, all the favorites that you've grown accustomed to watch a movie, but we will also offer Beggar's Pizza. So you could have a slice of Beggar's, you could have a cocktail, a brewski, bag of popcorn, and check out the movie. We're going to have live shows. We've got a couple booked already. We have Rick Saucedo, Elvis impersonator. He's going to play here October 9th. October 15th. And then October 22nd, we have a Rolling Stone cover by the name of Shadoobie. They're going to play here, and we've signed the contract with the Rat Pack. I think they're going to play October 9th, and we're going to also offer dinner. So you can have dinner here, then you can watch the show of the Rat Pack on October 9th, and all that's on our website, man.
That's awesome.
You're online, so.
I mean, it's really cool. Who picks the movies? You picking the movies? So who's picking the movies?
A little bit of a collaboration it's going to be, but we're.
What goes into picking a movie in your mind? Are you looking for the classics? Are you looking for the comedies? Are you trying to do it like themed? I would imagine when we get to the month of October, there's going to be a lot of scary movies.
Yeah, we're in Christmas time. We're going to have a lot of Christmas movies, and I mean, one of my things I'd like to see done in the next couple of weekends. I'd like to see Caddyshack, the original Bad News Bears, not that phony. You know what I mean? So I like to see a little sports theme. I'm a proud of Yankees guy, but I know that's probably outdated. I don't think there's going to be a huge interest for that. But yeah, we're going to try and theme this thing a little bit. I want to have Purple Rain here because Purple Rain was one of the last movies to be shown at the Lyric. So, and it's a great movie. And with this sound system, I mean, OSA installed our sound system, and it is state-of-the-art, 4K, Blu-ray. This screen is unbelievable, along with the sound system. And we're going to have comedians here as well. I mean, this is going to be a cool place for comedians to come. And I was just interviewing one an hour ago, potentially to play here. So, yeah, it's going to be cool. Wizard of Oz, can't wait to have that here. And we're going to have immersive movies here as well. So the lighting here is fantastic. I mean, it's going to be... We're going to have, Disney characters along with movies. And
you got plans.
We've got plans, man. So, and a lot of those plans are in motion. We're actually going to have a drag brunch in September. So, and that's the beauty of Blue Island. It's such a diverse community. We have beautiful homes, old historic homes, and we just have a unique community, man. So, we want Blue Island to be happy, but this is a place that there's nothing like this place in the southwest suburbs. We had a wedding here already. So wedding receptions with the private suites, groomsmen in one suite, bridesmaids in the other.
Caddyshack up on the screen.
Caddyshack up on the screen, man. You know what I mean? So
when does Bo Derek's 10 end up here?
That's gonna, I saw that here. So
that's one of your fond memories. I could tell.
Fond memories. So we want to get center. I got to get Slapshot. How about Caddyshack?
Slapshot would be
on the original Bad News Bears for a weekend, man.
Right that's a weekend. I'll be here the whole weekend. I'm getting a suite for that one. I'm going to sit up here.
In Sandlot, there are so many great movies. But yeah, we can't show a first run movie, but 6 months to a year afterwards, we can get that movie in. But Wizard of Oz here is going to be pretty awesome. We want the grandparents, the kids, the grandkids to enjoy a day enjoy a show here, man. And like I said, we'll be open 90 minutes beforehand. We're not going to kick you right out once the movie's over. And the same with live shows. But the main thing with the Gorettos and Catellos, when they bought this place, one of their main purposes was to give back to Blue Island. And the other thing was they want to see these businesses in town thrive. So we're not going to be open till 3 in the morning. We're going to probably wrap things up around midnight. There's plenty of bars. There's restaurants to go to up and down this street. Most are within walking distance. And we want the rest of the businesses to kind of, feed off this as well. So, and go down to Old Western Avenue. There's it's a little short drive away, but there's a lot of great places down there. Go and visit, check out our town, drive through the neighborhood, see our beautiful homes. There's a lot to offer. So that's one thing they wanted to do. The owners wanted to do, hey, let's help everybody else here.
Blue Island, man. I'm telling you, every time I find out something new about it, I'm like, why am I not living in Blue Island? The Lyrics at 12952 Western Avenue. Give me that website one more time.
Okay, lyrictheater.online. You get all the information there. Go on the events page, go on the movies page, and you just pick your seat. You could pick whatever seat you want, whatever booth you want, as long as they're still available. And but we are going to take walk-ups day of event. You can walk up. We have the old school ticket booth out in front. And if you want to buy a ticket day of and they're still available, we'll be happy to sell them to you. That's for sure.
Long way from standing around watching a high school sports game in the rain, huh?
Well, yeah, the rain was the key. You just said it because, I love covering high school sports. The rain made things a little interesting, because ink, it runs when it gets wet. That's that's tough. And I prefer to be on the field, on the sidelines and not in the press box. But, hey, when Mother Nature calls, sometimes you got to get up in that press box, man,
Pat, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, and come on out and check out the Lyric in Blue Island, folks.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them.
All right, joining me on the phone line right now, I'm going to bring in a Southsider that lives out on the West Coast that we go to for entertainment, and he's somebody to definitely listen to. He's got his finger on the pulse of what's going on, not only with the movies, but also the streaming and the TV shows and everything else. Ben Belton, been on this show a bunch of times. He's back on right now. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, man, it's a mess. First of all, Ben, I'm 1 for 7. 1 for 7 in my 16-inch softball league. This is the worst year I've ever had. I'm 45 years old. I'm fat. I'm slow. I can't beat out the throw to first base anymore. I mean, this is, you know what it's like on the South Side when you're bad at 16-inch softball. You become the old man that stands off to the side, and I don't want to beat it. Like, I actually sat down the night after I went 0 for 3, and I was like, all right, that's it. I got to start lifting weights. I got to go find that place in Crestwood that I hear about that has like softball pitching and getting the batting cages for 16-inch softball. Like, that's where I'm at now. I never thought I was going to be that. That's what I am right now.
It's spring training, but in August.
Exactly. It's old man Southside spring training. And then we have police action at the house tonight.
Oh.
On the South Side. What happens is my daughter is sitting on the porch with this boy that stopped by to say hi, and she was good. She knew the rule. There were no adults around. She was watching the house, and she was like, you cannot come in because my father will murder any teenage boy he finds in this house without him here. The problem is some drunk tried to walk up, bum a smoke, and ask if he could come hide from the police inside the house tonight. That happened. I'm going 0 for 3 at the softball diamond, and there's a dude trying to come in the house. And you know what's funny about it? She's a Southside chick. Like, I raised her Southside, right? The boy didn't know what to do. I asked the police officer afterwards what was going on. He goes, I don't know what the boy was doing, but your daughter was going to fight that guy. And they were driving on the street. They see her yelling at this guy on the porch. They pull over and lock him up. And I'm like, I didn't know anything about it until it was over. So that's what's going on. I'm 0 for 3, 1 for 7 on the season. There was police action in front of the house. My wife's birthday's this week. Nobody's seen her in 2 days because she thinks she's 22 when she's 43. So she's out partying.
But you should be proud of your daughter, though.
Oh, yeah. Tough, right?
Yes.
That's tough,
yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean, she gets a grown man that like walks up and is like, I want to hide from the police in your house. The 14-year-old boy and the dog, by the way, the dog never barked from what I understand. And the 14-year-old didn't even know anything happened. He was playing video games in the basement. So there's some people here that didn't do a good job. There's some people here that did do a good job. Let's talk about who's doing a bad job when it comes to movies and entertainment. What the hell is Warner Brothers doing? You got Batgirl, you got Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, and they spent like $90 million and now they're scrapping it. What's going on here?
Well, it's unfortunately for Brendan Fraser. This was going to be another part of his comeback.
Poor
After
Brendan Fraser.
yeah, he was cast as the villain in this Firefly, and now it will not only not be seen on screens. There was talk for a while that it was going to go into theatrical release, but then it was going to be just an HBO Max production. Now it's completely scrapped. No one will reportedly ever see it because the new regime is coming in, and it also had J.K. Simmons in it. Had Michael Keaton playing Batman, had all these things in it, but apparently it didn't test well with audiences. And the new regime in town that came in recently said they want to scrap all these projects that aren't extremely A-list, so to speak, and because it hurts the profitability. And so they've got numbers to report soon. So they're taking that along with a lot of the other films that were going straight to HBO Max off, and they're essentially fine-tuning the entire DC movies and television slate.
You know what? Michael Keaton is my Batman. Like, I like Christian Bale, and those were great movies. And The Dark Knight is a masterpiece, right? I mean, that's a great one. But you give me the first Batman with Michael Keaton, with the Prince soundtrack and Jack Nicholson as the Joker, I can still sit down and watch that and enjoy it. And I was looking forward to seeing him. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Keaton's like one of those guys he's one of the more underrated actors in all of acting.
Yeah.
When he shows up in something, you're like, oh, he's still alive? Oh, he's still acting? And then he does something, you're like, oh, he's good. Like, why is he not in more things? So I'm disappointed in this.
Well, you will see him if things stay through the way they are in The Flash next June.
Wait a minute, but hold on a second. Why does that not get scrapped? Isn't the guy who's the Flash like a bad dude? Haven't I heard like some terrible things about him? Like he should be in jail? Like, I don't know the whole story, but Twitter tells me he's a bad guy. How does his movie survive and then the other one doesn't?
Because the first one did really well in the same way that the Joker, the sequel to the Joaquin Phoenix movie, is in production right now. And that's coming out. It's going to be coming out as well.
You're telling me money is everything in Hollywood?
You know what? You could say that.
So they're making changes at the WB. I also want to know what's going on with Marvel. They did their thing at whatever convention it was. I don't know if it was Comic-Con or whatever. I don't know. There's so many things that are going on, but they announced all their different phases. And it sounds like they're setting up another big thing, which is going to be like, how the first time around it was the Infinity War, and that was great. And so all these movies are going to somehow tie together and all these TV shows, and I just don't see it. I don't know how you take a vampire and you take a guy in Shang-Chi with his magic rings, and you've got the girl that's going to be the new Hawkeye. How do you put that all together and make it into a big saga? I'm worried they bit off more than they can chew. What are you hearing about it?
Well, I think there is some concern amongst many that there are so many projects moving now, and they're not all like, for a while there was talk that there was going to be a Young Avengers, and now you're not seeing that on the slate. But then there are some things that are open and things that have been moved around and what have you. So basically, there's still a lot of movement in, much like with the DC. They're just moving things around to find something that works. And Marvel has had some success. But, they have also done a lot of reshoots on things like Miss Marvel, which recently did really well. I didn't personally love Miss Marvel, but I know there are people that did like it, particularly younger people. And they did a lot of reshoots to get to that point, and it was pushed back, and there were a lot of elements to it. So I think you're going to see that moving forward. But it's a question of, how and I've heard rumors about what's coming. And but, like I said, there's been a lot of things that you just can't predict.
So you and I have talked in the past about, especially during the pandemic, the idea of, will movie theaters work again? And on this episode of Southside Pod, we've got the reopening of the Lyric in Blue Island. Does that seem like the future to you? Because when they described it to me on this show, I was like, wow, that may be better than your traditional movie theater, especially in today's climate, where it's not so much about get in there and spend $18 a seat to see it in Dolby surround sound. It's more of an experience. What do you think about that when you hear about a place like that?
Yeah, it certainly goes with the trend that we've seen, which is that these theaters are essentially trying to become an experience, right? So they offer more things at them, the better concessions, better seating, comfortable seating. How many times? I mean, I there's probably not a lot of people, particularly your kids' age or maybe even younger, that remember going into a theater where they essentially stick to the floor and the seats are old and not comfortable. That they've kind of eliminated, particularly in the pandemic, a lot of those theaters. So what you are seeing is more, theaters where it's mixed use, where they're able to do things where there's performance, but there's also the ability to do a classic showing, or obviously do some of the fine, even if it can be called that, fine dining and fine drinks that are served while you're watching a newer film.
I'm still one of those guys that likes to throw his popcorn on the ground on the way out. I feel like that's part of the experience. Why do I have to throw it in the garbage cans? My kids yell at me.
Well, everybody knows you're supposed to throw your milk duds at the people in front of you. That makes it more fun.
Ben Belton is so much fun to talk to. It sounds like Warner Brothers is a mess. Marvel is on the razor's edge, but they're probably going to make billions upon billions of dollars. And what's going on in Blue Island sounds like they're ahead of the curve, which is really cool for the South Side. My friend, thanks for jumping on with me.
Definitely. Thank you.
Bill, you remember that that movie Gremlins? Remember that?
No, never heard of it.
No,
of
never
course
heard of
I
it.
had.
All right, remember when the Gremlins get that poor woman on the chair that's going from like the first level to the
Yeah, those
second
old
level?
chairs that go like off the stairs.
Yeah, the little automated chair.
And
Yeah.
they hit the switch or
cross
whatever, and
the
it goes
wires,
super
yeah.
fast.
Right,
And
shoots
she
her through
flies
the
out
window. Shoots her
right?
through the window.
Amazing.
They have those at Hyatt Home Medical Equipment, one of our sponsors, but
Oh,
they do
I
not
hope
shoot.
Those don't shoot old women out the window.
No, they do not shoot old
They
women
work
out the window.
perfectly well, I hear.
Perfectly well. They've never, ever shot somebody out of the
They
window.
do not have gremlins in their equipment,
No, and they also have stuff.
which is what I look for when I look for home healthcare equipment.
Gremlins?
No non-gremlin
Okay,
equipment.
yeah. Okay, so CPAP machines. You
Yeah.
guys use that? Mike's old. You must
I
have one of those,
probably-
right?
I probably should, but I don't.
You don't have one of those. They have a
I
testing
just
room in
sleep
the
like
back
crap.
for those.
Yeah.
Where they actually will bring you back and they'll show you all the different types and you try them out and they make
there
sure
was a
it
joke
works
about my
right. It's really
nose.
cool. I mean, they have a really cool, big, brand new showroom here on the South Side.
Where's it at?
It's in Evergreen Park along
wonderful.
95th Street. I'm going to tell you all about it here if you give me a
I'd love
second.
to hear about
Sip
it.
your beer for a second while I tell people about it. For anything from oxygen tanks to bathroom aids to make sure you don't fall down, you can grab on to like a railing. You can retrofit the bathtub. Stop giggling when I say bathroom aids. They'll work with your insurance carrier and they will give you additional money off if you mention Southside Pod. Okay, so if you or a loved one wants to stay in the home, stay independent, check them out, hhme.com, or visit them today in Evergreen Park, 3518 West 95th Street, right there in the heart of the EP.
And as always, no gremlins.
No, there's no gremlins in there. I think that would be a good movie for what the Lyric's doing.
Gremlins?
I
Yeah.
looked at what they had going on here opening weekend. Back to the Future on Friday. They got Kingpin on Saturday. And that makes me think that somebody...
It's kind of a
somebody
cult classic, right?
Somebody
Yeah.
really likes that movie that owns
great
the
movie.
Lyric. That's what
Sure.
I thought, right? Because Honey, I Shrunk the Kids as like a matinee on Sunday, I thought was perfect for kids
Absolutely,
and families and
yeah.
stuff like that. You would love this place. I know you like to take your kids
I've been
to
there
places.
before they closed down for an old. There was a Blue Island band. I don't know if they're still around, but they were called the Soda Jerks. They did 50s and 60s music.
Yeah.
And they played a show there. This is probably going back 10 or 12 years. That was a fantastic place then. I looked at the pictures of the renovations.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I was in there, man. I hung out at the bar.
You know what kind of gave me the vibe of, like, remember in The Shining, like at the Overlook Hotel, that kind of hotel bar where it's like all like kind
Yes.
of 50s and
Yes.
just retro chic kind of thing, like Art Nouveau, whatever you want to, all these buzzwords. But that's what it kind of gave me that
words, noises, things
yeah,
like that.
right. It gave me that kind of vibe.
Before we get out of here, I want to finish up the show with the Southside Bulletin Board, but I want to do it a little bit differently for this
Me
episode.
interrupting you every 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
I
We
also
must have a lot of time. To
I
fill.
want you guys to share with the listeners something you're either doing this weekend on the South Side or something that you're looking forward to doing with your family, your significant other, because I always talk about events and things to do, even if it's something that you enjoy doing on the regular that you've done before, that you'd be like, you know what, this weekend or next week or sometime in the next month, try it out, rather than me just kind of reading off what's going on in the area. It's all brought to you by Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. Quitting smoking is hard. Cool Clouds, will help you quit. They're going to give you an alternative. They have a full taster bar, great CBD products, located at 3837 West 95th Street in the EP, Evergreen Park. You can check out all they have to offer at coolcloudsvapor.com.
August 5th into August. Fifth. Did I say that? Fifth. It's the fifth. Fifth. Right.
Okay.
Go see Dirk's Bentley down at the fairgrounds.
Were you actually going?
No.
Okay.
August, you're familiar with Lake Catherine?
Right. I know.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So August 5th at 6 p.m. into August 6th, they're doing an overnight family camp out. So they get a dinner kit, light breakfast. They got nature-based activities. Lake Catherine's like an outdoorsy, place for hikes and things like that. It's beautiful. I think you have to register beforehand, but you can check it out. Maybe you can show up. I'm not sure, but they got everything you need to go out there. So bring your tent or sleeping bag, sleep under the stars at Lake Catherine with a bunch of family-friendly events.
Awesome. I like that idea. That's really cool. Have you guys tried the Sid sauce yet? I could bring it all down here at some point. The bar.
The pepper sauce.
That's the
hot
peppers
sauce?
that are being grown on the south side
Oh.
and packaged on the south side. 17 different hot sauces. We've had them on the show before.
Yeah.
And it's good stuff, man.
Okay.
I want to try it.
And they deliver through most of the south side, hand delivery for this. They have a new website, sidsauce.net. You can learn all about their local, quality controlled peppers. They are in control of it from the beginning to the end. You know where your food is coming from. It's basically craft hot sauce.
Do they have different levels? Because
do.
admittedly, kind of a
Oh,
wuss.
They do.
With hot sauce.
They do. They have mango Slade Your Family, which is like mango, but it's really hot, but you can still taste the mango, but that would not be yours.
My
Yeah.
peak level of hot sauce is basically ketchup. Like that's almost too hot for me.
I don't know if they've got ketchup on there. Maybe not.
Not even 57 sauce anymore.
Oh God, oh no.
Mike, give me something on the south side people should try.
We're doing the combo this weekend. We're gonna go get a pizza from Rosangela's and enjoy some time in Rosangela's, and then we're
That's
gonna
what
go.
you do. That's your south side thing. You go to Los Angeles.
And then we're going down the street, and we're gonna top it off with the cone at Primo's. That's what we're doing on our.
See, you say Rosangela's there, and I think you're heading to Rainbow Cone. You're heading back out to Oak Lawn and going to Primo's.
we're going to Primo's, man.
I love Primos.
I don't think I've been to Primo's since I was in high school.
You got to get the eyeballs on the ice cream.
Yeah?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
The perfect ice cream.
That's
joint.
good stuff. That's good to hear. If you or a loved one are recovering at home from an illness or hospitalization, suffering from dementia, living with a chronic health condition, terminally ill, or just a fall risk, Mary Murphy, 25 years as a registered nurse, is a brand new local Southside company in which they have highly trained people come into the home, make sure that they can stay in the home, the person that has the need and needs the help, and will take care of them with the highest amount of professionalism and grace. Give her a call today. 708-634-2450. Find out what she can do for you, or check out HibernianHomeCareService.com. All right.
And as always,
What?
No gremlins.
That's a completely different business.
Oh, sorry.
We do have two businesses that basically help out people with
Do
their
we have
health.
any businesses that have gremlins?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't. We should get a business that has gremlins. When we hit September and October, we are lined up for like 3 or 4 Oktoberfest.
Nice.
Like we're going to Pollyanna.
This
Open
is gonna be
Outcry is
good.
doing one. They're going to be doing their first ever
The fall
Oktoberfest.
season is going to be jam-packed.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
Yeah.
really rough time here on Southside Pod staying sober. So it's gonna be
So
a
it's like
problem.
a
for us.
regular week, is what you're saying.
Right.
All right.
My thanks to Tom Walsh, Edward Jones Financial. His information is sitting right there on the logo, and there's a link in the show notes. We'll see you next week on Southside Pod.
And as always with Tom Walsh, no gremlins. Thank you for listening to see what's happening on the Southside Pod. On the Southside Pod. Join us again and be sure to tell a friend about the Southside Pod. About the Southside Pod. All things about the neighborhood we live in. All things about the places that we go. It's the best side of Chicago, the South Side.